Hi, my name is Johan Hodri. I'm with the Valais Wallis Time Machine, and I'm here to present you some learning experiences from the Valais Wallis Time Machine hackathon that we had a couple of months ago, and how we were able to create a 4D historical model of the city from that hackathon. So the research question for us was, how can we recreate past urban models? And the thesis that I have in this presentation is that a bottom-up methodological approach developed during the Valais Wallis Time Machine hackathon can effectively guide the creation of accurate and plausible 4D historical model of cities, demonstrating the value of interdisciplinary collaboration and innovation in digital humanities projects. And the Valais Wallis hackathon happened, here for some context, in October 21st, 22nd, 2022. So it was a 2-day hackathon, and the goal was to recreate models from past centuries. Here are just some photos that you can see of the 2 days, with collaborating effort at the heart of the hackathon. And this is a bottom-up methodological approach, meaning that the approach emerged by examining how different teams worked during the hackathon and during its design. So we were not even thinking about doing such a project, but it just emerged. We observed that the teams were working in certain ways and that it would be good to put on paper. And we noticed that the crucial following steps had to be taken to ensure a proper 4D reconstructed model of architectural and urban environment. And we think other people and other teams could benefit from this. And I will go through this, and it's to make sure we know the subject of the study, to ensure the quality of the data, to think of 3D models, integration, and visualization. And I will go through these 5 steps. So to the subject, we need to make sure to define the subject and its historical timeline to be considered. It's important to have a clear date or a set of dates so that we know exactly where the start of the study is. For our case, it was about reconstructing the environment around the Rhone River, south of the city of Sion, in 3Ds, and to integrate it into an actual city model that we have currently. The time period we consider was from the 18th to the first half of the 19th century. And after, what is crucial is to look at the data, and it's important to research, to gather the data and to prepare the data, preparing the data set and ensuring its quality. In our case, we had historical maps, engraving, text, and historical studies, 3D model of the city, and Swiss Topo is the federal institute that have maps that are very accurate that we could rely on. And here are some examples of the maps and that we had to work with. So some very ancient maps and some very current maps that are more reliable, and even engravings that are more artistic. But this was all historical data that was important for us to gather and to be able to use. And then we can either use or create an existing 3D model. We had the chance that we could rely on highly reliable sources from the Federal Office of Topography to use their 3D models. So we used the 3D model of the city, as you can see here, and access that online. And then the challenge was to align the old maps and the sources to the 3D model. So once we created a 3D model of the city, we had to align it with the other sources that we had from the 18th century, for instance. This, of course, involved degrees of interpretation and decision-making. We had to choose the most accurate and plausible way to align the old and the new models. And here, that would be always a challenge, and it will come down, I think, to historical interpretation and choices that teams and historians would have to make. Then we were able to reconstruct and model using the historical sources. So we reconstruct the relief, the landscape, the vegetation, the buildings, anything that was not in the old models. Then we were able to integrate it with the archives and other historical archives to make it more relevant and how it was described by the inhabitants of the time. This added a layer of information. And then the part here is visualization. It was important to make the model more user-friendly and engaging. So we focus on visualization and some element included gamification, as well as user experience and design. And the results are here. There's the 3D models that we can see of different teams and how they've used it. This will be available online, and I will send the link. It's actually available on the website, timemachinebs.ch. And you can see here, well, here, like gamification element. And then the other one, another approach, another team can, this one, again, a lot of work in visualization, work in progress, and all created from the historical elements we have. So the method, just to summarize, it's those 5 steps that are very important and I think can be replicated to define the subject of study, to gather the data, to look at the existing 3D model or have to recreate it, integrating with the archives, and then work on visualization. And the takeaway, the important steps is to make sure that the research and data gathering are crucial to create an accurate 3D model. So make sure to prepare the data very well. It's important to combine historical sources with 3D technology to create a rich and detailed experience for user. The visualization and user-friendly design are important for making the model engaging and accessible. And here there will be decision between the accuracy and reliability of the result for scientific or entertainment purposes. It's easier to start with an already existing 3D model that we have at the present, and then to work backwards to align the maps. The hackathon method allows for collaboration and various approaches. It favors the emergence of innovative ideas, such as this method we present here. And then it helps identify the latest technological innovation and testing ideas at a very low cost. So why is this important? I think it's for practical guidance. It provides a clear step-by-step method for creating for the historical model of cities. This could be helpful for other researchers, student, or practitioner in the field. It shows the benefit of interdisciplinary collaboration, and we can learn finally from experience. That again, this methodology emerged from the hackathon, from our experience, and we think it would benefit others. So thank you very much. So you can look us online at timemachinebs.ch. We have the videos and the results for the hackathon. And I'm looking forward for your question and your feedback.